Hey, welcome to this video on proportion, the unitary method, and we're going to look at both direct and inverse. What do I mean by a unitary method? I mean finding out what one apple is, or finding out what one pot of yogurt is, or what 1 gram is. Getting it down to what a single item is, okay, either in cost or in weight, and then scaling that up. Okay, so we're going to look at a few examples. Different ones are worded differently. So if 10 pencils cost £10, how much will 13 pencils cost? Now I know the numbers are rather obvious, but I want to use obvious numbers to show you the first example. Okay, because if you follow this method, you should always get to the correct answer. So what we're going to do is 10 pencils cost £10. Okay, now I'm going to make what 1 pencil is. Okay, now I always put this bit on the left hand side. I just always have. So I'm going to divide this by 10 to get what a single pencil is. So on the other side, I'm also going to divide by 10. So £10 divided by 10 means that costs a single pound. Now I know what 1 is, I've got my unitary part, I can scale it up. So now I want 13 pencils. Because this side I've multiplied by 13, I'm going to multiply by 13 on this side. So 13 pencils cost £13. Okay, I'm just going to change pen as that one seems to be running out. Okay, so I started off with the information I had, then I found the unitary or the single, and then I scaled it up. I'm going to do the same on this one. So if 50 grams of cake contains 5 grams of fat, and this is no particular recipe, okay, how much fat in 120 grams of cake? So 50 grams of cake is equal to 5 grams of fat, okay? I'm going to find out how much fat there is in a single gram of cake. Okay, remember this is your cake side, this is your fat side. So how have I turned 50 into 1? I've divided it by 50. So I'm going to divide by 50 on this side as well, which is going to give me 0.1 grams of fat. Okay. Now I've got my unitary, I'm going to scale it up. So on this side, I actually want 120 grams of cake. Okay, so I've times by 120 there. So I'm going to do 0.1 times 120, which gives me 12 grams of fat. Okay, so again, I started with the information I had, I found the singular, and then I scaled it up. Okay, right, so let's have another look at another couple. So in this case, I've been given the information 1 metre is 3 feet. Okay, and I've got 2 questions I want to answer with the same information. How many feet are there in 6 metres? And how many metres are there in 27 feet? Okay, let's start with this one. So the information I've been given, 1 metre is 3 feet. So I've already been given the unitary, in this case. 1 metre is 3 feet. So I want to know what 6 metres is. So to turn that into that, I've times by 6. So I'm going to times by 6 on this side, which would give me 18 feet. Okay. The one at the bottom is slightly trickier, not my much to know. So again, we know that 1 metre is 3 feet. Now in this case, I've been told I've got 27 feet. So I'm going to write that 27 on the feet side of my equal sign. So now I need to sit there and think, right, how am I going to turn 27 and 3? What's the link? Easiest way is to do 27 divided by 3, which is 9. That's what I've multiplied by. Okay. So guess what I'm going to multiply by on the other side? The number 9. So 1 times 9 is 9 metres. So 9 metres is 27 feet. So the only difference with this question is that this 27 went underneath this bit instead of going underneath the left hand side. Okay, now that's direct. Now we're going to have a look at inverse. A little bit trickier, but not by much, so long as you can follow the method. Okay, So let's have a look at inverse. Okay, so here we've got 7 friends paying £20 each to go golfing, so they had a set amount of money and they split it 7 ways. How much would 10 friends pay to go golfing on the same course? So the first thing we need to know is what was the cost of the golfing course? So 7 times 20, okay, is 140. So in total, it cost £140 to go golfing. I'm now going to split that between 10 friends. So 140 split 10 ways means that it's going to cost each of these people £14 to go golfing. Okay. So the reason this is inverse, as the number of people have gone up, the cost of going golfing has gone down. It's gone from 20 down to 14. Okay, and that's the whole point of inverse. As one thing is increasing, something else is decreasing. Okay, so in this case, the number of people increased, but the number of the cost, decreased. Okay, and that's a fairly straightforward one. Find the amount it costs and split it 10 ways. You've probably been doing that since you're in primary school anyway. Now let's have a look at another one. Now this is probably one of the most common questions that gets asked, okay, about painting a fence. I don't know why, it just is. I really wish this method had been shown to me when I was at school. I would have understood this so much easier. So 6 men take 5 days to paint a fence. How long would it take 8 men to paint the same fence? Okay, so 6 men take 5 days. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out how long, if I only had a single man, will it take him to paint. Now, one man would actually take 30 days. Now the reason for this is, divided by 6 there. The reason for this is he's got to do the work of the other 5 men. So it's going to take him his 5 days, and the next person's 5 days, and the next person's, and the next person's, and so on. Okay, so for one man it would take 30 days. Now the way to think about this, on this side I've divided by 6. So when you go to the right hand side, you're going to multiply by 6. You can see they're opposites. So 5 times 6 means it's going to take him 30 days. Okay. Now I want to know how much it takes 8 men. So again, if I scale this one man up, okay, I've now got to split that 30 days of work between 8 separate men. Okay, and yes, you can use a calculator for this. Okay, so that is going to take 3.75 days, or 3 days and 16 hours. Not 16 hours, ignore me there. 24 divided by 4 multiplied by 3. I'm going to ignore I'm going to say the holidays have caused the problem here, folks. Is 18 hours, apologies. Okay, we all make mistakes, teachers included. Okay, so with the inverse, I'll do another one with you in a second. You've got your initial information, and you're doing exactly the same as direct, except when you're doing your calculations, you're doing the opposites on each side. So if you're dividing by 6 on this side, you times by 6. Timesing by 8 became divide by 8. Okay, and as many times as you need to do in order to get down to the original answer. Okay, let's have a look at one more. Okay, so one more then. 7 students take 21 hours to complete a project. How long would it take 10 students to complete the same project? So we're going to start off with the same principle. So 7 students, okay, take 21 hours. So for one student to complete the same amount of work, okay, it's going to take him, that's divide by 7, so this is times by 7. Okay, so it's going to take him 147 hours to complete the same project. Okay, so 7 students, 21 hours, so one student would take 147 hours because he's got to do his work and his friend's work and their friend's work and so on. So divide by 7 on this side, multiply by 7 on this side. I now want to know how long it would take 10 students. So if I've times by 10 on this side, I'm going to divide by 10 on this side. So 147 divided by 10, it would take him 14.7 hours for 10 students to do the same amount of work. Okay. So again, you can see the unitary part here because you've got down to one student or one person or one gardener, whatever it happens to be. But the trick here is the opposing calculations. So dividing on this side becomes multiplying on this. Timesing by this becomes divide over here. That's where you've got your inverse part from. Okay. Any questions? Let me know.